Hello everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to speedrun Super Paper Mario Pit Percent. This will not be an in-depth tutorial, but this will give you a basic idea of what you should do in every room of the pit, assuming we're starting you. So we're just going to start off in room 1, where you'll likely have to throw it. Something to note early on is that when you throw enemies at each other, they despawn and die off-screen immediately rather than waiting for them to despawn like that. First room will always have, so every room is always the same, the layouts will always be the same, the door spawns will not be the same. First few rooms, do not force yourself to use the throw, but do make a habit out of trying to use throw most times when it makes sense. Remember, if you use throw for opening a lock, you will open the door faster without having to wait for throw. Something to note is that you'll want to combo points off enemies. So any opportunity you get to combo points, use it. This will be used in a variety of rooms, which I will showcase throughout this tutorial. The big one is full jumping on these guys so they can bring into their full form. Near a roof, you can try stylishing. Sometimes it doesn't work. It is a surefire way of getting good points. For these guys, you can just duck under the clouds. It's important to note, specifically later on in the pit, that when you see poison turbos and poison pokies, every single time they kill one, they'll drop some sort of item, typically a dried shroom. And on the topic of drops, when you're in the pit, you're going to typically want to try for an Ice Storm or a Thunder Rage drop, along with a Fire Rage drop. These are the 3 drops you want the most, and whatever heals you can pick up. It's important to know what enemies will drop what item. In this case, you'll notice that I'm killing more of these guys, so I can get a Ice Storm or a Fire Burst. So again, drop an item. There's a dried shroom. And every item, every healing item that you can find from enemies will always be able to cure your poison. This does not work with Cursey effects, only the poison effect, specifically. So that room 10 is done. In this room, you have 2 options. So you can either throw the Koopas at each other, or you can kick them down, try and combo them. Well, it's not always the most effective strategy. It is another surefire way of getting a few extra points. And just remember that in room 19, you're going to ideally want 60,000 points, though there is a way around it. Typically in speedruns, this is kind of where I like to go. Whoops, didn't mean to open it. This is where I like to switch to boost. You can use boomerless strats in classic pit, which I think is really important for some people to learn. Just notice a lot of throwing enemies in your pit, but that does not always confirm optimality. Whenever you have any kind of Schlurp room, you want to kill the Schlurp and move on. Fortune is a room where you want to use all your point comboing skills to your advantage. I messed it up, but you can kick all the shell, you can get the shell down, and all the Goombas drop, and get a bunch more. It's also important to keep note of what enemies give how much XP. So ideally you want to combo enemies that give you more XP more often. One thing to mention is that there's a certain amount of risk you should consider taking when playing with it. You gotta remember that sometimes taking damage to get through enemies is actually effective, but it's not always the case. This right here is a room where I just use Tyloids and the Koopas to combo points. And well, only a small amount of points. If you get 2,000 points every room, it does add up really quickly. Well, this demonstration will be slightly inaccurate due to killing. Due to it in a regular percent, you won't have to kill every enemy, more than likely. You will notice I am higher up on points, but I will still showcase every way of getting points. Right here's another room. Take all the Koopas down. There's actually quite a few good rooms in the 10s that can get you lots of points. This one is one of my favorites. So specifically with Buzzy Beetles, and we'll talk about this fully later. Buzzy Beetles do not despawn when they're off screen, so you can let this guy recap it. Doing his thing. So he's all done. Kill him. You'll notice I got upwards of 5,000, 6,000 points. So in this room, you want to try and kill every enemy before the Koopa roll. At this point, if you don't have 60,000, you either have to use an item or to do the despawn. So I think if you hit this guy, he's Tippy, I'll use Tippy him. 15 HP. So 8 hits. But if you run into him, jump and throw at using the right time. Notice he clips to the floor a little bit. Should have spawned with the key in. Yes. You do have to remember that does come with a little bit of a risk of taking 3 HP of damage. But it will save you a minute. Or like 40 seconds. So in this room, typically what you want to do is you want to land as many guys as you can on screen. So right here, I'll use practice codes to give me a fire burst drop. As many of them on screen as possible, use the fire burst. If you're really lucky, you can get all 6 on screen, but it's more than likely that you won't. In this room, it kind of depends on where the boos spawn. You can combo lots of points off them if they're in kind of like in this area specifically. I want to learn how to use Boomer, look away, and explode as many as you can at once. Sometimes patience is key, which evidently I did not have patience there, so I was pretty slow. A really good attack that I like to use in a lot of rooms is crouch jumps. The crouch jumps give you just a little bit more space between you and the enemy. A little bit more room to wiggle on. You can also crouch jump like that and avoid getting stuck on corners. So this room is a room that I think is really nice for getting points because there's so many of these guys. If you just don't, if you want to do better what I did, and you just you can combo a lot more points off them than I did. If you do get them in a lucky enough position, it is very, very easy to combo them with a lot of points. So you do have two options for this room. The one is with Boomer, most obvious answer. You need 60,000 points by this point, or an item. The only other way of doing this is if Chain Chomp is on the bottom floor, you despawn it. However, that is a lot more difficult, and I am not very good at doing it. We're kind of entering the first room where enemy projectiles are very dangerous. You do end up getting hit by a Daisy's little music drop or music note. It is often just faster to just let them hit you, whereas shaking you often won't even have enough time to wake up. Daisies also have a bit of a weird quirk, where they do kind of just turn around. You get a certain range of their fire zone, or they will just they'll shoot in your direction. Right here is a room where you can combo a few extra points. You don't suck, at least. Well, although much less points than certain rooms, it is always good to know that comboing lots of enemies together is an art. You do want it to be your goal to combo. If you have a chance to combo enemies, do it. The sooner you get to your attack level ups, which are 60,000, 120,000, and 200,000, you can do more damage and kill enemies faster. This is a room where you can kick. I just would not recommend it personally. Just remember with these guys, you have to wait till Boomers hit this, but like halfway through their bodies to get them. That 20s are done. So entering 30s is where we're gonna start seeing a lot different enemies. Enemies like the Tyloids, they're gonna start giving us way more XP. So this is where we want to think about our point comboing. There's even this like right here. That's an extra like 1,000 points for killing just 2 guys. A lot of things in pit percent that will just start coming to you eventually, but always good to get a feel for things. These guys are also good point grinding machines. 400 points a pop, and if you combo that with one other guy and get your full 400 per hit, you're getting easily 1200 points. And if you're really lucky, you can get more than that. But you already kind of have to get lucky. Just Recursias, you can just place a bomb under where they are, get away from them, make sure they don't actually hit you, because it can be very dangerous and you don't want to get slowed. Those just kind of suck. Make sure you also don't stand right above them, because if you do that with the floor, then they'll go to the floor and hit you. This is another room I like to combo points in, because these puzzle deals are 3 hits each no matter how many points you have. So what I like to do is just block and then combo off like that. It didn't work very well because of how the enemies were laid out, but if they're like right here, this area over here is a lot easier to get upwards of like 3,000, 4,000 points. Even just doing small things like this, where it's just like an extra 400 per hit. Very nice. Okay, so we got one here, just drop off, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Very soft, yeah. And you'll notice very quickly here that so just for the accuracy of this run, I'm going to lower my points by 10,000 because it's a little more accurate way to have in a run. Just for the ninja rooms, you should try and play a little bit more conservative. You're gonna move around these guys to do your crouch movement. You make your hitbox a little bit smaller, and realistically speaking, you need to get on top of them anyways. Something to also be aware of is that they'll all... I need you to turn into a bomb. Turn into a bomb. Did not try. I don't know what happened there, but... So here is another good range for grinding up points. There might be a Buzzy Beetle on the top, but pretty much you can just kick these guys. If you want to get fancy with it and get as many points as you can even just go like this. Have a guy. Throw him down. Throw him down. At this point I'm getting 1,000 points per hit. This guy dropped down. So just for reference, in this room alone, I've gotten upwards of 10,000. And well, yes, it was a slower room. I'm now at 120. Just to fix this up again, I'm gonna level down 1. For these guys, you want to be careful because even when you hit them, the projectiles still move, and 3 damage a pop is not exactly what you're going to deal with. You can always wait for them to shoot, dodge the projectile, then get them. And just remember, a body shot from these guys is a lot less damage than a projectile shot. This room is not exactly great for comboing points, but you can still do a little bit like with the highlights like there. Now, into the 40s. This is where we start getting a lot more of a heavy hitters like the Clubbas. In this room, if you see an opportunity to avoid killing a Clubba that is harder to kill, I recommend taking it. In a position like this where you can just easily go and combo them, go for it. This is a spot where crouch jumps come in handy. Often. There is a little nifty thing you can do with the Clubbas, is that, hold on, if I bring them over here. This is kind of more of a risky strat, but if you can kind of jump, hold right, go into him, you get hit, and you'll get him every time, as long as you're rubbing against him. Remember when he's in his little shake phase, you cannot hit him. I got a down level again. Oops. So in most cases, you won't have 120,000 until probably about the 50s or the late 40s. For these guys, you just kind of want to kick their shells and if you get to the shells, one hit with Boomer, you'll get them. Even in some scenarios, you can also just kind of finagle, depending on how you want to do it, and just use the shells. Remember, if you kick the shells at them, they do also combo the point. So this is a room that I like to combo points in. So just if you want like a really easy strategy to combo points, you can just throw every enemy to the bottom. In almost any scenario, that is an effective strategy. What you really want to do is get these guys at the bottom. These guys. And just like that, I've gotten a few thousand points. Well, yeah, some of these are a little bit more niche strategies. And not necessarily something that you should do in like a run you're trying to go really fast in. It is always good to have in reserve for something like a tournament race. Or if you're really low on points, these will also be very helpful. You do want to avoid getting these guys on the roof at all costs. So I recommend attacking anything that is going directly up. Sometimes there'll just be things off screen that you just can't get, which is unfortunate, but you can keep track of most of them, and if you, as long as you're not like too unlucky and stupid like I am, you should be able to take them out. Eventually you will start noticing a pattern with floors. This room, what I like to do is climb to the top, take this guy all the way to the left, follow it, respawn. Flip point is about in the middle of the room. And come back here. That was cool. Cool little quirk. And then just kill the rest that kind of gets stuck up here, which is usually just the parachute phase. Remember, get whatever heals you can from these guys. It is a good safe strat if you're low on HP. The big part about Pippercent is learning how to use what resources you have this early in the game, so the item drops, killing like specific enemies to get some item drops is very great. Here's where kind of a heavy hitting comes in. You kind of want to hit these guys from the brooms with Cooper as many times as you can. It does avoid using their shenanigans. Remember, the projectiles do turn around the Clubbos. Also remember that Clubbos do give you a lot of XP, so just like that I gained 2,500 points just because I killed the Clubbos in sequence. I will take this Fire Burst drop. There's the last guy. That was right there. Never mind. So, we will go on 49. 49 is a great room for grinding points. You notice that there's a lot of open space on the bottom here. Plenty of space to get it. There's also a lot of space on the top, which makes it for a really good room sometimes. So what you can do the top is you can just go like that, drop down, get that guy. Fortunately, I just didn't get quite the RNG to have it work perfectly, but I got the top left. Yeah. So like I said, use your resources. In combo points, do it. The more HP and the more attack you have, the more consistent your pit will be. We're about halfway through now, in the 50s. So what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna see this guy, pick him. You're gonna kind of want to hope that the Buzzy Beetle's on the bottom so you can start comboing points right away, but pretty much drop them all down, let the guy do his work. Whatever guys aren't gonna fall down very fast. At this point, this will help you get 20,000 or 120,000 if you aren't already there. So for any pig rooms like this, is you kind of want to get, you can kind of get the pigs as close as you want in 2D. You gotta remember these guys get 500 points each. If I just do this, for really good balancing, you can get 500 points per hit. You gotta remember you killed 2 pigs, you're then doing 1,000 points per hit. 3 pigs is 1,500 points. Tons and tons of XP we got through doing this. So here I'm going to introduce a new strat, Super Boomer. I'm going to place Boomer down, and then right when Boomer flashes the first time, you flip. And while it is kind of iffy in rooms like these, you do it correctly. I'm not. Dude, please. You correctly can hit every enemy on the bottom floor. That didn't work. It just trust the process. I really just suck. I'm kind of rusty at this. I'll show it off the cursor. It could just be the enemies at this point. It is a little bit more complicated with the Spaniards because of how they move in 3D, but it should still work one way or kind of work at least. If you get in a situation where one of these guys does end up on the roof, you can just jump and just throw. Pick him up. Boom. So for this room, you can just try and focus and kill the clubs first, or you can just kind of kill all the other enemies and go as well. Unfortunately, you cannot combo points off the dragon. You could probably throw the... If you really just don't care about getting the last feature, you can probably just throw all the dragons together and just bomb them together so it's a little bit faster, but... That's not quite the goal here. Also remember, you want to be very careful with your HP, because there are times where I've been above 10 HP and I've still died to enemies in range of like 5. For this room, you can either flip them down or just kind of get them like this. I think it's often better to kind of know where you spawn to not flip them down. But dealing with these guys in 3D is also not a very pleasant experience. Here, we'll have a Dark Boo and Percy room. I personally like waiting up here for all of them to kind of come and get you. You can, I also do like finding Percy before I kind of stop and kill any guys, unless they're like right beside me anyways. Don't forget, with these guys especially, you can do something fun like this. Just like that, you'll notice I got 1800 off the one kill. Remember, Long Wings are your friends when it comes to getting a lot of points. Just remember, if they break apart, it can be any one of the 3 that has the key. In the Daisy room here, you gotta be really careful. You it is a decent idea to find this Daisy first. Kind of figure out where he is. If you do get lucky though, you can kind of trap him in the corner and kill him. There is a few strategies to deal with the Amazing Daisy. These guys can just kind of weirdly turn around wherever they want. It's kind of annoying, but that's an instance of taking damage and then kind of hitting the enemy again. When that happens, the first thing that'll happen is that so when that happens, I'm not sure how many snares it is, but in a lot of snares, you can just die. So I'm gonna set this guy up over here. Being a jerk. Move a little bit. You have a few options. You can throw him in this corner. Sometimes if you're lucky enough though, you can just kind of get into a corner, and as he attacks, you can trap him, land, and just kill him like that. You gotta be really careful, because remember that you also have a chance of losing a lot of HP. Or you can throw him in the corner and just jump. I'm more of a land on at the right time type of guy. It's all in the timing. I'm not very good at doing this strat, but I know a lot of people get over that. You can also just in the corner. I feel like that's better for me, at least. It's kind of... A lot of things in Pip% are really touch and go, where you kind of what you do and what you don't do, how risky and you want to play or not play. So my strats as someone at the world record level will be very much different than someone who's just trying to get a sub 130. So my strat for Magic Blocks is usually just to kind of like drop down to one of these platforms and just kind of they'll spawn on the opposite side of you because there's not really a whole lot of room. Patience will spawn. Sometimes they don't spawn. It's really frustrating. So a lot of people actually do like to kill these guys first, but 9 times out of 10 you have to kill one of those guys along the way. Now we're 1 to the 60s. Just remember with the boomboxers is that if you hit them with boomer, or you hit around them with boomer, they get stun locked. These guys are also a great way to combo points, because they get 400. So in this room, just try to kill whatever guy's beside you. Let the dark boost come to you. But you can take a pretty similar approach to how I did in the other dark blue room, where you can just kind of stand in the middle up here and just wait for them. Just for anyone curious why I'm getting only the last keys, it's because I have there's an option in practice codes to do said thing. It is probably pretty good for practice. For these guys, you just want to be like very careful of their projectiles. And if you can get rid of them, do get rid of them. You can always flip in 3D to get around them. Don't forget that you want to wake up. You have to wait for the enemies to move in a way that'll work for you. And know your limits. I'm at 3 HP, this guy has 3 HP, why would I risk that? Yet another Tyler room. Your approach will have to be a little bit different, because now you have the really super speedy guys. Remember, calculated risk. Revive is a pretty easy room. Just like I mentioned earlier, do not wait for them right above. Do not wait right above them on the platform. It is very risky. You could get hit. For this room, you just kind of want to use Boomer to get these guys to 1. If you have less than 200,000, you'll need to hit them with Boomer once, and then hit them with your jump at least once. What I like to do is I like to jump once, Boomer. This room you do also have a lot of point rating potential, where if you kill one of the red guys, you'll get 800. One of the white guys will get 400. So you could do theoretically Get under here. Come up with a combo. Wow, I didn't technically get a lot of... I didn't add up a lot of points in that combo. I did get a lot of points, just in general. Other than making my streak really high. This is another room where if you get kind of lucky with the guys at the bottom, you can combo off them. You can. Sometimes you can get the guys to shoot coconuts and you combo off those as well. Oh wait, come up from a hit from another enemy into a coconut. Always is a good strategy. If you want a good strategy for these guys, you can probably just flip them to the bottom. Usually you don't want them at the top because they will rain down hellfire, and it's really annoying. Often whenever you have enemies that can flip it to 3D, you do want to get them to the bottom because it makes them a lot more vulnerable to damage. So here's a room where you want to be really careful, and as you can tell, I was not very careful. These guys do 5 damage per hit. You gotta be super duper careful. If you spawn at the top, luckily they'll mostly just take themselves out. Ouch. As you can tell, I'm being very careful. Spawn at the top is really nice. If you spawn in the middle, it's really terrible. If you spawn at the bottom, it's not too bad. So just let those guys despawn their stuff out. We've all killed each other, and boom. Right here, typically what you'll do is you'll use Boomer. You won't kill him, but you can flip him over. This is a room where you could use Super Boomer. Like so. Over the whole bottom floor if you have 200,000. If you don't, you can flip over all the brown clefts. This room is really ideal for these guys to spawn on the bottom. If they spawn in the middle, you'll either have to flip down to the bottom to get past them, or you can just go above. There is a few kind of different ways to do it, but those aren't exactly very viable all the time. So here's another instance where you can do Super Boomer to take out a whole floor. Wait till Boomer flashes once. Press A. I waited a little too long on that one. When you're in 3D, I would recommend placing Boomer slightly more to the right or the left. As you can see, I kind of suck at this. Baby, come on. If you get a first try, you can get a faster than a 10-second room. It's pretty simple, just jump on them. You can kind of get them together and combo them, it's just not exactly something I would recommend trying to do. It wastes more time than it's worth. Oh, last guy's up there, okay. Do you think these guys have been in 3D for a little while? They probably have. So don't flip to 3D if they're really up high like that. So entering 75 here, it is very, very possible to combo a very large number of points here, like upwards of 20,000 if you're lucky enough. Just remember, you guys projectiles do a lot of damage, so be very careful. Give 3 guys at the top like this. You can force them to get close together in something like a corner here. And it's just... Now heading into the second half of the 70s. We'll be heading into box territory. I would highly recommend, if you are low HP here, play this room with as much caution as you need to. These guys do, I think I lost too much damage there. 6 damage. So that is enough to kill me right now. So even a body shot would kill me, so I will use my fresh veggie to heal. Despite the fact being away from... Maybe I actually wouldn't have healed that time, just because of the way that I actually would have played out in the run, but... Just to be safe, and for the sake of finishing this, I will heal. So use another magic water room. Usually I just stand right here. You do ideally want to kill them with jumps, because that way you'll actually combo the points. Sometimes you don't always get them, and they'll just kind of randomly spawn, like right there. You can trap them through between the ceiling just like you can with a few other enemies. Get a fast kill. And depending on where these guys spawn, you kind of want to. I like to go up top because it's a lot. It takes longer to get up here, but it's like more. I'm pretty sure the door is more likely to be up here. In worst case scenario, you just lost some time going around instead of having to go like all the way around. For this room, you can kind of just like flip, get as many guys together as possible to chase you, blow them up with Boomer. At this point in your run, you should be either at 200k or approaching 200k. So the next set of room, the 80s, is very troublesome. There's lots to go off here. So, something I haven't really mentioned too much is Flimir. He'll sell you items. You ideally want to look like a Thunder Rage or a Mighty Tonic. So I will buy this Shooting Star to make my life a little bit simpler. Just for this room, I like to drop all the pigs down. There's one point comboing, obviously. Look at that, 800, 800, 800, 1600. By doing that, that's a 2400 point compound. Here's another Magic Vault room where you can either, I like to stand right here typically. It's kind of a bad spot, right there, like specifically right there. I know like most people like to go up here because it's the most consistent spot by far. Well, they'll pretty much always spawn there. Just because it's closer to the center of the room, the more of them will spawn naturally. to this room. You'll always want to take out the Spanias first. If you're able to move them around, you can get 2 of them at a time. But it'll often happen that you're able to get 2 at a time. But yeah, if you don't... I don't do that. Unfortunately, your only options are either to despawn these guys or to kill them like this. But I think killing them like this is a little bit faster. I think maybe it's just the one guy left, like here. I'm pretty sure you can just despawn him into the roof. Looks like if you watch this, yeah, just like that. The despawn to the roof is as simple as just carrying him into the roof. So in this room, there is so many dark moves, you gotta be really careful. If you ever get poisoned, use the kill you get immediately. It's not worth waiting. Just remember that if you get hit with poison, you will not be immune to getting hit, like regular attacks. Waiting for these guys to hide over here, crouch jump, same way. I always try to be above these guys, this typically. This makes it harder for them to hit you. For this room, you have 2 options. Kill every enemy as you go. Well, actually, you have 3 options. Super Boomer, right there. And hope it's a Magic Koopa. But unfortunately, because it's more than one Koopa Troll, it's really hard to despawn them all super fast. So every Koopa Troll will take 3 hits. However, if you want to do something a little bit more fun, pretty sure you can take them out with a shooting star. Almost 50% if there's too many scenarios where something could be a specific way. Yeah, so 5 hits is all it takes. So now, unfortunately, this is last key only. So I do have to kill this guy, but that is the general idea of what you'll have to do, what you want. There's also a few other options, like you can use your Shell Shock in this room over 89 if you're already at like something like 300,000, but it's really unlikely. So back with the ninjas, again, like I said, well, they're in a really bad position to use Poomer, but usually they're more like down here. Remember, just crouch jumps, crouch jumps, crouch jumps. Careful with their bombs, because that was funny. They can still hit you with the bombs, no matter, even if you have items. So, you can opt to go to the top, or you can just stay on the bottom and use the Shell Shock, but it's more effective. You can just get it right here. the shell, make it small. Messed it up. So let me just fix this real quick. We messed this up, guys. Might be a better idea to say a 2D up here for as long as you can. So maybe go like more like here before using the shell. And this can help you get upwards of 50,000 points. As long as you're not stupid in that room and you do it right the first time, you won't have a problem. So finally, we're in the 90s. So the 90s is where things kind of get really annoying because of the enemies. Starting off with these guys, it's pretty basic. Basic Java's procedure. Look at it right here. I think just get them out of the way instead of trying to trick jump up them. Hit him once, hit him with Boomer. You gotta hit him with Boomer like once or twice. You do have enough time to hit Boomer twice. It's just faster to jump on it, I'm pretty sure. The ninja room. This is where things are kind of like the beginning of the complications, where you want to use a lot of crouch jumps, as I mentioned earlier. This room is pretty much the ultimate test of your spatial awareness. You get them fast. As long as you get too unlucky with the bombs, you can clear this room pretty fast. Remember, any place you can use bombs, use them. Anytime you can avoid taking damage, do it. In the next room, I like to do Super Boomer, typically. Drop these guys down. Get a few enemies, you know, like clear a large portion of the room. So if you want to avoid the ninjas, you can just kill every other enemy first. And wait for a moment where they're a little bit more vulnerable. Always Super Boomer again. The door is usually in this corner here. Kind of depending on where you spawn and what kind of key you get. You kind of change up your strategy. You can either run all the way around, but I will show you a cool lock jump strat you can do. There's two things you can do. If you're about to take 3D damage, you can do a mid-air. So you can do that, open the door. Or, you're right against the wall. Flip. Jump on the wall. However, do not do that with throw, because it will crash your game. Doing it taking 3D damage will not crash your game, and you'll be just fine. This is another room where you can kind of just use Boomer Super Boomer if you'd like. You want to take out the enemies on the higher floors first. Remember, you can always hit a guy on a lower shelf. And if you go over here. As long as you get Super Boomer like second try, it's pretty fast. Did mess it up again, unfortunately, but I just get it. I just suck, chat. Hold on. I'm too late. There we go. The only disadvantage to doing Super Boomer over any other strategy is that Super Boomer, unfortunately, does not combo points. You'll get all the points from killing enemies, but you don't combo them. As we're approaching the end here, Super Shroom Shake is a very nice drop kick, because that'll do 20 HP instead of your regular like 10, 12. I do also want to mention that you will probably not get to 40 HP in a run. I did it one time in a race against Cat, so that's it. So now we have the hardest room in the game. I'll probably have to reset the whole recording here, just because it'll die, you know. It'll be kind of cringy. I can't start over like that, right? Okay, we did it. There's a few possibilities for that route, but that's probably the best layout you can get. So usually you just want to use like an item here, so I'll just like an Ice Storm, Thunder Reach is probably the fastest item to use here. It is hard, but you probably, I think you should be able to get all 4 of them on screen. Usually you just get 3 of them on screen. Like 9 times out of 10, you won't ever set it up like that. Depending on your luck, you can get all 4 of them, but it's very unlikely you will. These guys, unfortunately, you will probably not have 300,000 by this point in any run. But yeah, it'll take a few hits to kill the guys. Typically what we can do here is I just like to usually spawn on the left side. Sometimes you just have times where these guys won't spawn in and it's really frustrating and annoying. This is one of those times where it's like, if this happens, just run to the other side of the room and just do your same setup. Get really unlucky with the last piece, sometimes it won't spawn. But yeah, there you go. That is all. That is 99 rooms. So it's actually fast to switch to throw in the fight, so I did kind of mess that up a little bit, but... You can actually just match. Hit and match the A button. You can actually just wait. You can actually let Raptor just go right through you without any problem. If you flip, it's full 3-meter when the screen stops shaking. Turn around here for a little while. The screen starts vibrating again. You hold up. Boost right through Raptor. There is actually a new strategy. Up right here. Hold on, yeah, right here. here. Do that, or you can just throw the Rackles, or use a Fire Burst. Fire Burst is a pretty standard strategy. That didn't work. So 2 Fire Bursts will give you exactly enough to get Ragtail. The exact 10 hits you need. Don't forget, each slide over, land on Ragtail's antenna. This is a demonstration of the 10 hits. If you want to try to line up around this part of Fractal's body, for 2 to spawn. Go 1, go 2, go 3, and number 4. Do keep in mind that you want to keep as many near him as possible. Then you just gotta get Dashel. Just like that, the percent is over. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments and join the SBM Discord server. There'll be lots of people to answer questions, but I'm just hoping this serves a good demonstration on how to take out all the enemies in almost every game. Thank you guys for watching.